they thought, and I'm going to read for you verbatim what they said. The first one said, "Are you serious? If I am their hero, why do they treat me so poorly?" And these are verbatim quotes. The next one said, "I don't believe it. Maybe this is for other kids, as I can't see my son saying or believing something like this." The next one said, "If they treat me, their hero, like this, I shudder to think how they treat other people." This was not going well at all. So I just kept asking. The next one said, "This is good to know and illustrates how important the parent and child relationship is." And the next one said, "I'm not surprised by this. My mom was secretly my idol." So we know that we're important to them. We also know they have a lot of secrets from us, and that's what we're going to be talking about here tonight. So just to begin, let's talk about why their life is a secret. Well, it's a secret because they're scared to admit it to themselves. They're scared to admit it to others because they feel it, but they can't articulate it, because they think they're strange and crazy for feeling this way. Because why tell us anything? We are the enemy. They hate doing that. But a lot of their secrets from us are because they don't like to disappoint us. Now, some of you are thinking, what are you talking about, John? They disappoint me all the time. Well, my dad is 91, my mom is 87. I still don't like to disappoint my parents. Your kids don't like to disappoint you. And when they do, they feel in a very profound way. Now, I'm going to generalize here, and I apologize. So when boys disappoint us inside, they feel measure of shame. And that's on the inside. What's the outside behavior we see? Anybody have a guess? I was in North Reading. It took them like 20 minutes. You guys are sharp. Anger. And I know I'm generalizing here. When girls disappoint us, inside they're feeling guilt. The anger too. I used to always say to my wife, why are they so angry all the time? So we're going to talk about like what's going on inside their brain and the disappointment that they have. The first thing I want to talk to you about is that teens want parents to listen. Now, they work really hard to say, butt out of our lives, we know what we're doing, you have nothing to offer us. But deep down, they want to share their fears, their joys, and more. And the reason they don't, and I'm pointing to myself, is because of us. There's a classic example. This is me, by the way. Your kid does poorly in a math test. That was my son and my daughter. What do we say? Did you study hard enough? Did you talk to the teacher? Can you take a makeup test? Do you understand the material? Do you need a tutor? We're always giving analysis, judgment, and feedback. Who the heck would talk to us? You know that bad boss at work? Sometimes we're the bad boss in terms of our kids. We're always giving that stuff. And when we're not doing that, we're fixing things. How many of you are fixer-type parents? You notice my hand is up? All right. So let me tell you what it's like for kids. When we fix things for our kids, not all the time, but about 99% of the time, they feel terrible. They feel really bad. We're always fixing things. Oh, this is really important. We have to fix. Probably not so important. You guys happy up there? You can come down if you want. We're always fixing things. And if we're not fixing things, we're doing this. I was talking to my son Jake one time, and he had this glazed look in his eye. And I thought to myself, all right, he's either listening to every word or he is somewhere else. And I said, Jake, what are you thinking about? He said, nope, can't tell you. I said, why not? He says, I am going to get in trouble if I tell you. I said, no, you won't. He said, yes, I will. I said, just tell me, Jake, what are you thinking? He said, I'm thinking I should build a podium because all you do is lecture. How many of you guys are lecturers? And it's true, all I did was lecture every night. I must have one of these. It was like a lecture thing. I was doing a lot of lecturing. Now, my daughter, she and I were the main combatants when she was growing up. She's now 28. Just to let you know, we are still the main combatants, I have to tell you. We are having a fight. If you know the main combatants in your house, we're having a fight that I know is going to end up poorly. How did I know that? Because I've been down this road 750 times. I know a bad situation when I see it, and we are having a fight. And I am saying to myself, just do something, John, do something. And I say to her, Jess, do you want me to talk with you or just listen? I'm going to tell you what she said to me. I'll never forget it. She looked at me and she said, are you fucking kidding me? And I said, excuse me? And she said, are you capable of listening? And you know, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't so capable of listening when I was talking to her. I wanted to be right. It was a teachable moment. I wanted to win. Show you how immature I am. I wonder where she got it. And I just shut up. And she says, how does this work? She says, I am going to just shut up and you're going to talk. And talk. And that's what she did. She didn't have any fear that I was going to give judgment, analysis, and feedback, and she talked. At the end of talking for about 10 or 15 minutes, she said to me, do you have anything to say, Dad? I knew this was a trap. I knew this was a trap. And I said probably the best thing I ever said in my parenting life. I said, thank you. That's all I said. And I realized that it's much more important what they say than what we say. How could that be? Isn't every moment a teachable moment? Well, think about it. If a teen has grown up in your house, they have been in your home for 5,000 days, and I say this lovingly, even the dumbest teen knows the family rules, the family expectations. They know when they've screwed up. Now, you might have had this experience where you say something once to your teen, and they say, stop repeating yourself. Oh, we will repeat ourselves, don't worry. But we haven't yet because the tape in their head is saying what they did wrong. I did less talking to my kids and more listening as they got older. First of all, they appreciated it, and so did I. So did I. Now, how many of you have noticed when you're in a car, you have better conversations with your kid? Why is that? They can't leave, that's why there's one other? What? They can't walk away, there's one other. No eye contact, they hate eye contact. Now, it's not really environmentally sound to be driving around for 17 hours a day, so I'll tell you what I did. I was fighting with my daughter, Jessie. You're going to hear a lot of stories about Jessie. And it was going down that path I'd gone down many times. So here's what happens. We're fighting about something, and she starts rolling her eyes. And I'm doing the really great parenting thing, and I say this, stop rolling your eyes. And she says, you're rolling your eyes. And now we're fighting about the rolling of the eyes. I have no idea what the heck we're really fighting about, except now we're in the rolling of the eyes. And it's getting worse and worse. And I got up, and I wasn't sure if I was going to leave the room or not, and I flicked the lights off. And she laughed, which is a really lovely way to start a conversation. She said, what are you doing? I said, let's try to have a conversation in the dark. Now, I know that she was rolling her eyes. She was sticking out one of these digits for sure. I think I saw the dim light. But we had a conversation like that. And that was the beginning of hundreds of conversations I had with my kids over the years. Continuing with my son Jake, when he was a freshman at Clark University, got in a little bit of trouble. And my wife, who's really smart, said, I'm going to bed, you deal with this. He drove home from Worcester, came in the front door. I was sitting in the dark in our living room, and Jake looks at me and says, I know you're in here, Dad. I said, yes, I am. And we had a really nice conversation. Why do they not like eye contact? They don't like to read our faces. What are our faces saying? Our faces saying, what the heck did you do that for? What were you thinking? How stupid could you be? They don't like to look at our faces. So it's really important to figure out a way to not look at them when you speak. Let's talk about how they feel inside. They feel pretty insecure inside and pretty anxious about growing up, yet at the same time they're going to tell you they're supermen and superwomen. And by the way, when they become a parent, they will never do the crap that you're doing to them. They will never screw up their kid that way. And of course, while that is true on some level, their feelings of insecurity are rampant, and they come out in the anger form to us. I remember when my daughter was in 8th or 9th grade, she came downstairs and she said, I can't live here anymore. And I looked, you know that parenting moment where you try not to laugh, it's just so ludicrous. And I said, excuse me? She says, I just can't live here anymore, it's terrible. And I said, what were you thinking? She said, well, I was thinking I'd get an apartment in Harvard Square. And I'm thinking, damn, that's a great idea. I want to get an apartment in Harvard Square. So I said, I don't know what to say to you. You know, you probably would not notice for 6 months. Mom and I would miss you, but I don't know what to say to you. So she toddles off. She comes back about 45 minutes later. Great news. What is just, I found a 1-bedroom apartment and it's available. Thinking, this is really interesting. I'm going to play this out. She says, but I'm worried about something. Now she's going to tell me like she's worried. She says,